Started. Uh, we're glad to have you. Glad that you'll come spend some time with us. We are going to start out tonight with something a little bit different. We're going to have a musical video performed by the Roy Junior High Band. They will be performing a Zombie Tango by James Meredith and the Battle Hymn of the Republic. The Roy Junior High Band is directed by Leon Wood, and following the presentation, we'll have a student from Roy Junior, Chris Painter, come up, and he will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So go ahead.
One, two, one. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Well done. Let's give another hand to Chris and also to the Roy Junior High Band. They've done a wonderful job. I think next time maybe we ought to have the band come and the board will stay home and do it by video. Thank you very much. That was well done. Board, you've had time to review the consent calendar, and I would ask for a motion to approve that calendar. Jan, a second. Janice, any discussion on the consent calendar? Any of the items? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Let's move on to some recognitions then. Superintendent.
We're going to start with the E+ Team Award. Mr. Nick Harris, come on down.
Thank you, Superintendent Butters and President Whittison and board. I am so thrilled to be here. People sometimes say that and they don't mean it, but I mean it. I am so pumped to be here and to introduce the digital teaching and learning specialists to you today. So I'm going to ask them to come up here and hang out with me for a minute so I can introduce them. This is such a highly talented and skilled group of people. We're just going to hang out maybe just right here, yeah. I feel bad for Ryan because every time we move he can't get the shot, and I know that. So I'll introduce them just so you know who we're dealing with. This is Blake Pope on the end here. Blake came to us from Walquist Junior High. He was an English teacher. Alan Reese, this is not his first year in teaching, let's just say that. He's been around for a minute, and his experience speaks volumes. He comes to us from Lomanview as a sixth grade teacher. This is Monica Whittison, and she came to us from Freedom Elementary, I think 4th and 5th grade. And our most recent addition is Jamie Barrows, and Jamie came to us from Roy High. So I have been able to work with this amazing group of people now for a few years, and they are phenomenal. And I could stand here and gush. I told them today, I said, listen, I asked Ryan to help me make a video to show them at work because when I know that I look super tough, but when I talk about people I love, I will cry. And the last thing I want to do is stand up here and cry in front of you. And so I asked Ryan James to put together a video just to show you how amazing these people are. So hit it, Ryan. What can I say about such an amazing group of educators? Having the digital teaching and learning specialists with me from the start has been, we've learned so much. They work so hard and it's so awesome to watch what they do.
DT&L specialists help anytime I send them an IM really quick. They help if we have any problems at our school and are more than willing to come out to our faculty meetings and present about different technology things or different ways that we can better implement technology into our classroom and do the cross-curriculum stuff with our kids.
They're up from 7 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. They're either in the valley all the way to Westfield. They're helping teachers with their boards. They're helping teachers with Canvas. They're helping teachers learn how to use technology.
I'd love to give a shout out to our DT&L team who's done so much for me throughout my work as an administrator. So I've had everybody on the team come and help me. It doesn't matter who I call, they always respond quickly.
They never sit still, and it's so amazing to watch these guys work.
I am so grateful to our DT&L specialists. I am reaching out to them all the time, every day. As one of the only ed tech coaches here at Sandridge, I get questions that I wish I had all the answers to, but I just don't. And somebody's always there to save the day. Not to mention that Alan came into my classroom this summer and helped me out with some Adobe stuff. He came in and taught one of my classes for Student Gov. What would we do without DT&L?
The DT&L specialists have been so awesome. Anytime that we call them and with a concern or something that they need to train our teachers on, they've been so responsive and willing to come out and train, and just really great with the teachers. They're engaging too, so it's fun to have them out here.
in our breakout meetings that we've had for professional development. With Remind, with Nearpod. I have somebody coming next week actually for our faculty meeting.
One of the most important things that the digital teaching and learning specialists have done for our district is in the transition from My Student to Power School. They basically stayed on the phone all day, every day with people, either Google Meets, on the phone, or driving out to their schools to help them with the transition. Along with tech services, one of the reasons that the transition went the way that it did was because of the hard work of the digital teaching and learning specialists. But I can't say enough about their dedication to learning and dedication to utilizing educational technology.
They are always putting on amazing quarterly trainings for ed techs with things that we can bring back and implement into our classrooms immediately.
We couldn't do it without our digital teaching and learning specialists. They are amazing. Thank you so much.
Our mission is to get people to use educational technology appropriately to increase engagement, but also to increase teachers' efficiency. They've spent hours working with teachers to utilize PLCs better. They've spent hours helping them function in their classes, have more engaging lessons, and one of the more valuable things that they do is in the Learn Conference. People don't see behind the scenes how much work goes into the Learn Conference. They're rolling up shirts, they're checking people in, they're calling people to make sure we have the resources we need. Like, the scope of the work that goes into the Learn Conference is amazing, and it's all the digital teaching and learning specialists.
I just appreciate them. Every time I give them a call, they're there to help me out. So I want to say thank you and a shout out to our DTNL team.
So Alan, Jamie, Blake, and Monica, I cannot thank you enough for the hard work that you do, and there's no team more deserving than the digital teaching and learning specialists. So that says it all. They work so hard, and so I want to give them a chance to introduce themselves and introduce the people that came with them, and just really appreciate them, and from the bottom of my heart, and I know you guys rule. Here you go.
So I'm Jamie Barrows. I am 2 weeks on the digital teaching and learning team, so I'm really glad that I was able to help them get this reward. I'm just kidding, no. But that's one of the reasons why I joined this department, is because they are such an awesome, like, I've been in ed tech for a few years, and I knew I could always count on them, so I wanted to get the opportunity to work with this awesome group of people, so. Oh, and then I brought Brad and Claire. She's the one that's saying, Mom, out in the, hi, Claire. Claire, can you say hi?
Generated by AI?
She's
Not yet.
AI figment.
I'm Monica Widdison, and I just want to say that I love my job. This is the most amazing thing I've ever been able to do. Kids are my life, and I love being in the classroom, but I think I love helping adults learn even more. So I just thank you, Nick, for this. And I brought my husband, Craig Widdison. He is my biggest supporter, and I'm glad he's here with me.
So, Alan Reese, everybody said it already. It's awesome to be part of such a wonderful team, to have great leadership and coworkers. Couldn't ask for better. My wife, Stacy, is seated right over there.
Hi, everybody. Blake Pope. And I want to echo what Monica said. I love my job, and I love Weber School District. The work that we've been able to do since the founding of the Digital Teaching and Learning Department 3 years ago has been, I think, transformational for our district, and it's been the highlight of my life so far. It's an awesome honor to work with these people that I consider my best friends. With me tonight, I brought my wife Sydney and my little boy Cliff. I don't know if he can say hi on command yet. He's kind of shy like me, but thank you again.
That's it. Thank you.
Hey, Nick.
It's Kodak time.
I don't know where they put us. It's a big deal.
I want to try.
shop, can't you? I know you. Oh, I miss Lane up there. Lane, I miss you. Nick. Oh, we should take a picture. My favorite. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you, Fred. There you go. Yeah, and they can understand.
Matt Williams, please.
President Whittison, Board, and Superintendent Butters, it's a pleasure to be with you tonight and to be able to do what I get to do right now. So I'd like to invite Mr. Talbot, the principal of Sandridge, to come up here with me. And while he's making his way, the lady of the hour, Mrs. Erica Cerdas, would you come up here with us also? Thank you. Thank you. Erica promised, she said she doesn't want to say much, so we won't make her say much. If there's ever any question about the valuableness of Ryan James and his department already, you've already seen it. You're going to see it again here because it's transformed our presentation. So I just want to just show you a couple pictures of Erica in action. Erica is at Sandridge Junior High, and she is one of our best ever. So key Mr. James and his video. So
welcome to Sandridge. Can I help you?
So Erica has been working with us for more than 4 years. She is incredible. She's the face of Sandridge. As people walk in, you know, some know what to expect and other ones don't. And honestly, she's great with both sets of parents or community members. The best about Erica is that she's always upbeat, always smiling.
I appreciate Erica. She's always there right behind me. We work very closely together, and she can help me with the Spanish-speaking students and the Spanish-speaking parents.
Erica is the person that I can always go to no matter what is wrong. Like if I need something translated, she's always there for that. She's always there for a kid. She's always there for me. It doesn't matter what we need from the office or just as a person in general. Erica's always the best. I mean, she's fantastic.
One of the things that sticks out to me with Erica is an experience we had last year. We were trying to plan some community nights for our parents and families to come in to the school where we could educate parents, we could celebrate, have food together, and we needed bilingual piece to the night. And what we did is we asked her to fill in and to basically we split the presentation up into an English presentation and a Spanish presentation, and she stepped right up and did an awesome job.
Seems like she knows everybody that walks in and is like, oh, hey, how are you doing? To go along with that, the fact that she's bilingual has been a huge game changer to help our Spanish-speaking families feel comfortable coming into Sandridge and getting the help that they need. She makes them feel at ease. She gives them, you know, our perspective in a way that they feel like they're truly a part of our school.
She goes the extra mile all the time. She always makes sure every classroom has a teacher in it. She makes sure that so many bases are covered, that parents have a kind listening ear on the other end of the phone when they call in with concerns.
Just to give you an example, the other day we had quite a few people out sick, including teachers, and part of her duties is to make sure that the classes are covered. That same day, she felt pretty terrible too, but she threw a mask on, came in, still organized things in such a way that everything ran smoothly, even when she's not feeling probably even 50%, she gives 100%.
Just always a happy, smiling face at school.
She talks to those students who need extra support, and she's always smiling and always cracking the funniest jokes in the office. She makes it fun.
You deserve this award and so much more. You are always willing to help us out no matter what, and always with a smile on your face.
You can go to her and she'll help you with anything, and she never really expects anything in return. She's just amazing.
Any situation, she comes and she always shows up. She's always willing to do whatever. In the office, she handles really hard situations because she has such a good relationship with so many families here. She's built such a good rapport out there at the window, so.
She's just all around phenomenal. I've told her so many times, if she leaves, I'm gonna chase her down and bring her back, whatever it takes.
Love having her, she's fun. She's got a great personality, awesome sense of humor, and cooks amazing food for all of us, and we love having her around, so.
You deserve this. Congratulations.
Erica, I want to wish you congratulations. You are definitely worthy of the Extra Mile Award over and over again. And truly, you make my job that much easier by being who you are. Thank you.
All right, so need I say more? That's the best way that you could celebrate somebody, by the people that themselves are telling us about how good Erica is. She's one of our best. So anything to add to that, Mr. Talbot?
You can tell she really loved being on camera.
Yeah, I think they captured that very well. So congratulations, Erica, for this year's Extra Mile Award recipient. We take a second and tell us who's here with you.
Yes, thank you. I really do love my job. I love what I do. Thank you for nominating me for this. It's hard to have the center of attention on me, but I really do love what I do. Today, I brought my husband, Rogelio, my daughter, Juliana, my mom, Letty, my dad, Polo, my son, Chewy, and his girlfriend, Emma, and my besties, Melanie and Betsy. They're my coworkers, friends. I love them so much, and I feel like we all should get the Extra Mile Award, not just me. Everybody, we're a team, and I love my work, frankly. I really do. Thank you.
Stand up, please. Her family, please stand up. That's what this is all about. So congratulations, Erica. We're so excited for you.
You're bringing her flowers, Mike? You don't take pictures, but you deliver flowers? We need to get a bigger label.
I'm going to ask, hey Gina, can I ask, is there a way that they can get a copy of these presentations to the family? I love Robertsfield. Ryan, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, but I just asked the superintendent if we could make sure that each member gets a thumb drive of their presentation at some point.
because I think that would be very valuable to the family. So thank you.
Ms. Burrell, I'd also like to say that these will be running on our website for everybody to see for the next month. And so that's the way we celebrate people. So great job.
Great idea, Matt. That's cool. Your suggestion. Nice job, Ryan.
Thanks, everyone, for coming. Appreciate that. Let's move on to a presentation about our Unified Sports Initiative and the program in the Weber School District. Jared Abney, please. Oh, there he is. Jared Abney, Emily Euler, and Principal Rich Murray.
Board President Whittison, Board Superintendent Butters, you've heard this a couple of times tonight already, but I really do truly feel like I have the best job in the school district. Being the foundation director is just such a joy, and I feel so honored to be here tonight, especially with these two individuals, Jared Abney and Rich Murray. I get to work with the best people there are around and support the most amazing programs that there are around. And we are so excited to talk a little bit about Unified Sports. Something that sets Weber School Foundation aside from or apart from other education foundations is the amount of money that we raise to support special needs students in Weber School District. Weber School or Christmas Tree Jubilee actually started as a special needs fundraiser over 40 years ago, and Weber School Foundation has worked really hard to dedicate the funds needed for amazing programs like Unified Sports. So when we had the opportunity to be part of this program, our foundation board jumped on it. This is something that we want to support for years and years to come, and you will see why in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Emily. You know, Juliana and I have been preparing, thinking about planning how do we start this new program, kind of like Emily's mentioned. And I guess I should correct myself. It's really not a program, right? It's a mindset that we hope that we're building in the district. But there have been multiple times that Emily and I have just wondered, oh, what have we done? How do we do this? How do we start? Luckily, we were able to partner with Ogden District last year, and we began with a soccer tournament. Canyon View was able to quickly pull together some teams, 2 teams, and we had kind of a multi-district unified sports soccer tournament. From that, we grew and put on another tournament, a basketball tournament, again in partnership with other districts last year. And that momentum has continued to grow. We want to, I wanted to share just briefly a little bit about Unified Sports and Unified Champion Schools. I guess I have the clicker right here, don't I? So you can see in the little icon down there, Unified Sports is actually just one component of what Special Olympics calls Unified Champion Schools. And when we were looking at kind of an entry point or starting point, we said, let's start with Unified Sports. I think there's a lot of commonality, camaraderie that happens with sports, and we feel like this is a great first step for our district. As you can see in the other areas, we want to build that into inclusive youth leadership, and hopefully that end goal is whole school engagement. And down at the bottom, our goal is, this is kind of, like I said, not a program, but a strategy that engages schools in creating climates of social inclusion, acceptance, respect, and human dignity for all students with and without intellectual disabilities. And what this inclusion, we hope, looks like over time and through, part of Unified Sports is that it's intentionally bringing people together, is both a practice and a mindset. It celebrates differences and diversity, values and welcomes all as equal members and meaningful contributors, and extends equity, dignity, empathy, and opportunity for all. And this social inclusion piece, as we hope to continue to implement unified sports, is that students with and without intellectual disabilities are engaged together in meaningful sports, social leadership, and academic opportunities so that they learn from each other and develop friendships. And so that's a little bit about unified sports, and we feel like we have, it's going to take us a little while to implement each of these components, but we're excited to continue this process in our district. We have created a district level team. From Jan from the board is on our committee. We have administrators from high school, junior high, elementary. We have life skills teachers. We have parents. We have our adaptive PE that's helping us really do a lot of the in the trench work that happens to put this on. So we have a great committee, and we feel like from that committee that it will help guide and steer how we implement this unified champion school idea throughout our whole district. Part of, I think, why we're here is we had a wonderful event a couple weeks ago at Bonneville High, and so I want to let Rich kind of talk about how we partner together to kind of make all this tournament happen.
Thanks, Jared. So Jared came to Bonneville and asked if we would host the Unified Soccer Tournament, and we were excited to do it. And like most things at Bonneville High School, when I have an idea or I need some help, I go to probably the person that runs the school, and that's Shelby Healy. She's sitting in the back. She didn't want to come up. She's our administrative assistant. And she and Rick Corbridge were the team that I put together to work on this, and they did the brunt of the work. We are focusing this year at Bonneville on connection, and we thought, what better way to connect our community and our school than to host this event. We came up with the idea of including all of our teachers. We invited all our teachers to bring their classes out. We also had a petting zoo. Our FFA put on a petting zoo. We had our Hope Squad out to do face painting. Weber County Sheriffs brought out their tank and their motorcycles. We had our fire department come out with their fire trucks. We had face painting. I mean, we had so much going on. We had our mascot out there. We honored some of our long-term teachers there. They accepted the game ball. I think we had 17 teams that were there. Our girls soccer team reffed the event. We also had our LIA involved as gen ed students playing with our resource kids, our unified soccer athletes. And it was an amazing event. Our kids were involved. Our teachers were involved. It was fun to watch, and to watch our kids. Many of you came out to the event. It was great, and for me, it goes to Shelby and Rick and everyone that they talked to. We had a balloon arch. I mean, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. So thank you for letting us do it. We hope to do it in the future. So we would love to do it. We were honored to put on this event at Bonneville. So thank you.
The land of the free and the home of the brave.
Watching our students succeed on a field with all of their peers is like amazing. It's the best feeling ever. If you want to enrich your life, this is where you want to be. You want to be hanging out with these individuals because they are just 100% at everything they do.
You walk around, you see the kids, it's awesome. We have so many of our faculty and staff and our kids involved. It's been a huge community event. We've really had a lot of fun with it. I hope our athletes have had fun.
You know, probably our biggest hope, and you can kind of see it as we hear these games in the background, is we have our gen ed kids with our life skills kids, you know, having a meaningful interaction.
There's nothing like unified sports, giving these kids an opportunity to do something they don't usually get to do. So I think first and foremost, if like any of our special needs kids, like we can adapt and modify to make it a fun and a good experience for anybody, no matter what like modifications we have to make, we'll do it.
It was so fun being able to see all the kids just go on the field and show us what they can do, being able to see them go out and get so excited when they score. It's so fun to be able to see them do what they love. I love peer tutor. I love being in the class, and so whenever I get the chance to come and be a part of this, I'm so excited to come and be the peer tutor and be able to come help the kids. So I think if anyone gets the chance to be able to do this, they should so come out and do this.
So it's really nice to just to see these kids come out and enjoy and be able to play and be able to do things. And then in turn to have that camaraderie together and to support each other and help each other. It's awesome. Just show up, get yourself involved and do something, be able to, you know, grab a hand or do something, help out. There's always things. And it's just that, and you know, just even give these little guys high fives and stuff is cool. Just to see the light and see the smile.
I had lots of fun. We did great. Yeah, we scored a lot of goals. I got like second place.
My kiddos that were using wheels to get around, and my kiddos that were using walkers to get around, and my kids that were like running their hearts out, they all were just amazing.
The foundation has really financially made this possible for our district, and so I always want to give a shout out to Emily and her team. I guess in a whole, we're excited about where we're going as a district when it comes to unified sports.
Get involved. Come play. Come out and see an event. Basketball will be coming up at Roy. It's going to be awesome.
Second place, we have the Land Sharks. Second place, we have the Warriors. In first place, we have the Dream Team.
I'd say unified sports or adapted sports is where all the heart is.
So just lastly, we just want to thank each of the departments that have helped us. As you can tell, there's no way that as a special education department that we could do this on our own. So we want to thank the foundation and secondary education, student educational access and opportunity, transportation, our own department, communication, and that Bonneville High team that has made this happen for us, and we hope to continue to make that happen. Most importantly, I want to thank Juliana, our own director, who through her leadership has allowed me to have that opportunity to take on unified sports. So we're super grateful for her as well. So thank you.
Can I just make a comment? I was able to come to the last hour of the soccer tournament, and I just wanted to say what a great experience it was to be there, to watch those students participate. My daughter's on the cheer team at Weber High, and they have a life skills student that's a cheerleader on their team, and it was fun to see them support him and how much fun that he had. And I love the idea of equity, dignity and empathy for all, and you can see that with the students, the regular ed kids that were participating. And I spoke to a couple of the parents of the kids at Weber High and just how much these opportunities mean to them. So I just wanted to thank you guys for all the work you did on that.
Emily, Jared, Rich, I don't have words. Outstanding. Thanks for everything that you've done. That's awesome. Great job. We public comment portion of our meeting tonight, we didn't have anyone sign up electronically or on the log out in the lobby, so we'll just move on from there. Some discussion items. Mr. Williams, please.
That's hard to follow, you guys. How do you follow that?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a tough one with the calendar of all things, right? So, board, president, and superintendent, thank you. We've met and did a lot of work with the calendar. The calendar committee actually started last March. We met in March and April. to get ready so that we could get the calendar out earlier. So we're talking about the 25-26 calendar. At the end of last year, we had it narrowed down to 2. We sent it out to all the people on the committee and their groups that they represent, parents, faculty members, teachers, just about everybody, administrators, those kind of things, and we narrowed it down to 1. So we met on September 13th and talked about if there needed to be any changes. So the one that you have in front of you, as we met on September 13th, we would like to propose to you that this is the one that we adopt for the 25-26 calendar school year. It works out really nicely with everything. So our 180 days with our 2 contract days, and we seem to have it worked out really well. I hate to jinx us at that point, but based on the input that we received as a committee, we'd like to recommend to the board that the attached 25-26 calendar option for consideration and approval be on a first reading.
Okay. Board, you've seen the updated and proposed 25-26 school calendar, and I'd entertain a motion to adopt that. Doug, a second. Bruce, any comments?
I just have a comment, sorry. You know, my comments on the calendar. So I have 2 questions. One, I did have some school employees reach out to me and say they did not receive any sort of 2 calendar options. So was that not given out to every teacher, or was
So that's sent out to the committee, and the committees to take it to like the different faculty that they're on, and
So it wasn't given
get
out to
feedback.
everybody?
It wasn't sent
Okay.
to every single person in
Okay,
the district.
because I
No.
think the memo made it sound like, because it said the memo said that 2 calendar choices were sent to schools and employee groups. And so I think some of those teachers felt like they never saw that. So I was just curious on that. And then my question about the committee, I see that we pushed the first day of school to Tuesday instead of Monday, and we've got more time.
Instead of Wednesday.
Instead of
It's
Wednesday,
normally
yeah,
Wednesday,
sorry.
yeah.
I meant Wednesday. Tuesday instead of Wednesday. We've got more time at winter break this year, but we've still got those 4 days between second and third quarter. Was there any discussion about ending second quarter before the Christmas break? Because my concern is always when we only have a few days between quarters that not much work is getting done, at least at the secondary level, in those 3 or 4 days when we go back to school. Like I said, my daughter, at least last year, gave me a class by class breakdown of the work that wasn't happening, because a lot of teachers at the secondary level seem to want to have all their work submitted before winter break, and then I feel like we have some loss of learning days if we don't finish. So anyways, my point is, was there discussion about ending the second quarter
Yes,
at the Christmas break?
We talked about that, and we talked about it last year too, Kelly, and there's a very few amount that want to do that. If we had a majority that wanted to do that, but most of them that we talked to and didn't want to end before Christmas.
I personally spoke with multiple teachers that reached out to me, Matt, I just have to say, and of those, a vast majority wanted to end after the Christmas break to give students the opportunity to do work through the break if needs be. So that was a consideration that the committee very much looked at, but that was a very prominent theme in the conversations I had.
Yeah, there are a few districts that have gone to that, and it's kind of mixed results right now. If you would ask them, I know quite a few, and some don't like it. Some do. I talked to Davis. Davis was thinking about possibly changing back after this year.
But they stayed the same.
So they start a week earlier and at the same time of us. That's the thing, is we'd have to start earlier, make the breaks longer, and the committee didn't seem
What's
to
our
like that.
attendance usually look like between second and third quarter? Do we see a dip in attendance where people are either still traveling on vacation or saying like, our kids don't need to go to school? I mean, do we see is there any indicators there that we see a drop in attendance in that time period?
I don't know that right off, Kelly. So.
Look at that.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Any further discussion?
So you have a month though to look at that, right? 'Cause it's a first reading.
Yeah.
So again.
You bet. Okay.
Yeah, first reading.
All right, let's, all in favor to adopt that? Say aye. We already had motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed to that? All right, thanks. Thanks, Matt. Now if we could just get the schedule of Davis, Weber, Box Elder, Ogden, Morgan, all of the grandparents and Disneyland on the same page, you'd have it whooped.
You said it right there. We try to do the best we can, and you would be amazed of the importance of lining them up just with athletic events and
yeah.
stuff in the different regions and stuff. So we try to do the best we can.
You're doing
It's
a great
tough,
job. I
so.
can't imagine a can of worms that is.
Thank you very much. Superintendent.
Board, because this is a presentation, I wanted to address you in more of a formal way, and I wanted to invite Principal Mike Martini from Westfield to come up and join me, because he's a tall, strapping lad, and I would like to stand next to him for support on this, so I appreciate that. And he's all representing in his colors tonight. We just finished talking about how difficult it is to make everybody happy with the school calendar. I'm going to tell you right now, it's really difficult sometimes to get 180 days of school in some of our schools. Okay, and I want to talk to you a little bit about a situation that we find ourselves in that we're going to work through, and I want to walk you through the process we need to go through. Let me give you a little background first. Westfield High School was originally scheduled to open on August 21st with our other schools. And as you know, at the time, it was Nip and Tuck with Haven Bay, Mountain View, Junior, and Westfield. And just miraculously, we were able to get Haven Bay and Mountain View students to school on August 21st. It was a heavy lift, as you know. Mountain View opened on time. But we were forced to kind of bus our Haven Bay students to two different schools for a period of time. But then we're able to bring them back to Haven Bay just recently. And so we were really proud of the fact that we have all three schools now up and going. But we had a little bit of an unpredictable situation at Westfield, and I've kept you in the loop on this, but I want to just articulate it. On the 15th thereabouts, and Larry help me if I mess these dates up, on the 15th of August, we were fully expecting to pass a life safety inspection. And we had fully planned to open Westfield on the 21st. As luck would have it, we ran into some glitches, and we hurriedly through those next few days resolved some of the issues, and we were able to open the school on the 22nd. We were able to potentially open the school on the 22nd. We were given full occupancy at that time. Well, we realized at that time that we had not had any of our teachers in the building. Our staff had not had a chance to move in. Students hadn't had a chance to be oriented to the building, parts of which were still under construction and still are right now. And we just felt that it would be most prudent to make sure that over a few days' time, we put some necessary pieces in place. And so that resulted in, if you remember, the first few days of school are half days. Our Wednesdays are half days. So over about a week and a half time, we fell behind 4 full school days and 4 half days. We started school on September 3rd after the Labor Day holiday weekend. I'm going to have Mike here speak to the amazing things that have gone on to get that school up and going, and what the focus has been. And again, the shout outs go to our tech services, our facilities. I could go on and on about the heroic efforts that went into getting it open. But one of the issues we face at this point is that we're not going to meet the 180-day rule at Westfield. And that is in statute. I recognize we have a state school board member here, Joseph Carey, and we welcome him, and thank you for being here to support our process, Mr. Carey. But I have the opportunity and the great adventure to go down and meet with the state school board on this Friday morning. I will be meeting with the Law and Licensing Committee, and I will be requesting formally a waiver of the 180-day rule for Westfield. I will share just a couple of reasons we're asking for the waiver, and I so appreciate the time that the school board is affording me to come down. We are confident in saying that the current delay in construction was beyond the control of the district. As you know, we had water mitigation issues early on in the construction process, and we had supply chain issues and all sorts of issues that you have with new builds. And that was exacerbated by the fact that, as you know, we took on a pretty heavy lift. We've been building 4 schools at the same time, and that is a big lift. You as a board should be applauded. You followed through on your commitment to the voters on the bond that approved these builds, and we need them desperately in certain parts of our district. At the time that we knew we were not going to be able to open on the 21st, I let USBE officials know of that. But we would have applied for a waiver before that if we were planning on anything other than opening. You need to know that. That was the plan. We also thought about some contingency ideas so that we would still meet the 180-day rule. We thought about providing online instruction for a period of time. And I need to be just completely transparent with you. That seemed very, very heavy and almost impossible of an ask to our tech services department. They were already trying to get 2 other schools plus Westfield open at that time. Our team was working around the clock. Jennifer, can you attest to that? They were working overtime, trying to get internet up and going, trying to get the wiring done, trying to make sure that instructional technology was available to teachers. And so to ask them to pivot and support an online adventure for 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe days, we just felt like that was asking way too much. It might tip our system over at that point. Another thing that we considered was to extend our school year, or to look at taking some days off of our breaks, and you know how popular that would be. Our families have already planned vacations. Graduation dates are set a year in advance. In fact, they're set 4 years in advance. And we thought that that would be very disruptive to families, and it would be very disruptive to the Westfield community that had already gone through a lot of disruption. For the summer months, for extracurricular activities, all of our Westfield students and parents were displaced. They were going to athletic practices and student-led initiatives at different schools. There was travel involved. And as you know, we have many families in the Westfield community that are split. Some of their students have decided to stay at Fremont and Roy. We have siblings that are going to 2 different schools. And so with all of those factors at play, we decided to instead adjust the school schedule at Westfield for the rest of the year to try to make up the instructional time that was missed across those 8 days. So Ryan, would you show the chart, if you wouldn't mind? And board, I'd ask you to reference, this is in your packet, so if you want a little closer version. The top bell schedule is the proposed original schedule. That was the schedule we were going to follow starting on August 21st at Westfield. And you can see, as we did our calculations, if we would have been able to follow that schedule, we would have provided 1,004 hours of instruction to the students of Westfield High School. When we made some adjustments to the schedule, and that is what Mike and his great team have done, is they've implemented the second or the bottom schedule. You can see where in yellow we have adjusted. We moved the start time up. We're starting school earlier at Westfield right now by 5 minutes, and then we shaved some time off of the lunch period and packed that into class period time so that that additional instruction could be provided. So if you look over to the right, you can see that with the adjustment that we made with 172 days, it's actually 172 days, that should say right there, we are providing 994 hours of instruction, which in our mind and with our way of thinking, we were still providing that 990 hours of instruction. The 6 hours that were short we got creative with, and the board, the state board may or may not find this creative, and we'll find out on Friday. But what we did is we held 3 orientation sessions for 2 hours apiece for sophomores, juniors, and seniors in the days leading up to the start of school on September 3rd. And during those sessions, Mike and his great team, his teachers were in the school at that point, readying for students. They were given a very intensive orientation around the building. They got to meet their teachers. The instructional vision for Westfield was laid out to those students. And so we counted those 6 hours because we bused students to the school. We provided transportation, and we also fed them lunch that day on those 2 days of orientations for 2 hours apiece. So between those 3 orientations, we felt like we provided, with lunch and busing and things, we provided 6 more hours of instruction to students. Okay, so we'll see what the state board has to say about it. I'm going to request formally of them that the waiver for the 180-day rule be approved, but I first need to bring it forward to you as a board and make the recommendation to you that you approve our going forward with the waiver to the state school board for the 180-day rule at Westfield High School. So that is my formal proposal, President.
Okay. Thanks, Superintendent. Board, I would ask for a motion to approve the submission of a 180-day waiver request for the Westfield High School to the Utah State Board of Education. Doug and Janice, any further discussion on that from anybody? Questions for Superintendent? Go ahead, Janice.
I just want to thank you for the incredible thought work that has gone into the preparation for this in behalf of our students and our staff. Thank you so much. I know it has not been easy.
Thank you so much, Janice. And it has been a team effort, that is for sure. Every person, every leader in this room has had a very heavy lift, and we so appreciate the great leaders we have. Board, thank you for that approval, and wish me luck. I'll go down on Friday.
We haven't voted
yes.
yet. We just made
sorry,
motions.
sir, sorry.
But
That was
Jan-
a discussion. Please vote. Please vote.
Did you have a comment, Jan? Sorry. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. If that's if no other discussion.
If I could, Superintendent,
Please.
I have 2 hats that I play here. One of which is I'm the Chief Deputy in the State Fire Marshal's office, and so I was deeply involved with the school and the life safety issues that needed to be in place. I also have the hat of the school board, and even higher than that, I have a grandson that attends that school that's a senior. So there's all kinds of pressure. So as we looked at that on the State Fire Marshal side, the school wasn't going to open, no school is going to open without life safety in place. Exits, lights, alarms, sprinkler systems, you name it. And there's not a parent that would want that. And so when that was instilled, and then we had the original inspection set, which I was on, both of those, it had nothing to do with what the district had done that was in place. It was all a contractor, and you can't control contractors, especially electricians. So, having said that, it's as frustrating on the fire marshal side as it was on the school district side. And I wholly support where you're going with this in hopes that we get that waiver, simply because everybody was working like a well-oiled machine, Larry. We were in close contact. I'm on the capital improvement. We were constantly following this through for how many months?
Months. And I think a great shout out to Larry and his crew, because they spent some detailed time trying to make sure that this school would be ready, and spent a lot of time with the contractor to make sure that they were meeting the standards that we needed them in.
And that contractor was there late hours of the night. I know Rob was there myself, as well as our own people, trying to do everything they could. You're dealing with people.
From Hogan, a construction.
From
Yep,
Hogan
yep.
Construction.
They've been wonderful. Yep.
So, I agree. I couldn't agree more with Bruce.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Anything else, board? Okay, we've made the motions. I would ask for a vote. All in favor of submitting to the state school board? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Wonderful, thank you.
Awesome.
Superintendent, go ahead.
While I've got the mic, can I just put a plug in for the video storytelling that's been going on tonight? It just has added a whole other layer to our meetings, and I want to give a shout out back there to our new team. I'm going to turn the time to Principal Martini. I feel like it's important for you to glean his perspective on the opening of a brand new high school in our district and some of the things that they've been just putting in place, and he's doing an amazing job as a leader out there, and we are so thankful for his leadership.
President Widdowson, board, thank you for this opportunity. With that, I also want to shout out thank you for the district for the support that they've given us to take on this large task. One thing that wasn't mentioned, I know some previous schools, I'm friends with some schools in the South we won't talk about, but when they opened their high school in 2017, they were given over 2 weeks before school started. If you look at that calendar, as Superintendent Butters talked about, we were given 5 days before we had orientation. And to show the work that everybody put in is quite amazing that we were able to do that for 5 days. And I agree with John about the Hogan the same. There wasn't we'll just put, there was a lot of Sundays. I got a new religion, I think, at the school, so it's okay. With that, I think there's a little slide that I'd like to show. So tell you kind of the feel right now and what the students feel and how the teachers feel. So I meet with, I call it our student council, and that student council, we meet once a month, and this has all student group leadership in there, from drill team to SBOs to LIA to everything. And we did a little activity because I always like to get their input of truly how things are going in the school and whatnot. And so on 3 different whiteboards, I just took a picture of this of what to celebrate. We're not going to talk about the things they want to work on, but the celebration, this is what they put. And I was in quite awe when I saw that. The first thing they said was the teacher attitude. And I'll go back to tell you that our teachers have worked endless hours, and they're all rock stars for the work that they've done. It's quite interesting to hear them talk about how the teachers know their name, the teachers are involved with what they're doing. That connection that they've already made is a culture that we are proud to say we're setting. We obviously have a lot of work we want to do, but that is a big part. Second part, I think, board, I wanted you to hear this, is cell phone policy. Now, I had no influence on this whatsoever. They got in groups and they put that, but they talked about that cell phone policy and not having cell phones and how they are loving to learn and how they're loving to be social. That was a big part. And you can see that second part of the cell phone is kids are more engaged in the class. I can say firsthand as I walk through our pods and our learning pods and see what we're seeing, kids are absolutely more engaged in what they're doing. And then the third, students enjoy being at school. And to add with what Superintendent Butters talked about online, kids want that face-to-face. Kids want that engagement with adults that care, and they are loving that. Another big part, and this is I don't want to make others jealous, but the advantage we have at Westfield with how the contractors and how it is laid out is they aren't stuck in a classroom. They are able to use the whole learning space, and I see that daily, and the engagement that is happening is unbelievable of how kids are not just in that one classroom, but they're out in the learning pods and they're in different areas and they're able to differentiate the learning the teachers are because of the space. The other part with, even though our teachers didn't have a building for the first week of their contract time, they've been collaborating nonstop all summer. And with that, some of the other learning things that are happening, this is a credit to board of the Wednesday early outs. Because we are giving teachers time to collaborate, it is making a world of difference of the learning. I met with our CE communications class today, and it was the same conversation, and they had the same answers, totally different group of students, same answers. And their part that they talked about is that they are getting feedback from other teachers that are teaching the same thing, and they are learning because it's not just one teacher they're working with, but it's multiple. The other part that is quite amazing that I never thought of, but how students have told me it's awesome because we're in different classes with my friends, but because we're in different classes with my friends at lunch or at home, I can work with my friend on the same exact thing that they're working on because of the collaboration of the teachers. The learning that is going on is remarkable right now in that school. And I can promise you that what the work of the teachers are doing is truly benefiting these students. So, thank you.
Thanks, Principal Martin. Appreciate all your hard work and your staff's hard work. Great job.
Hey, I just want to comment, Gina. I think this is good info to take to the state board, that our kids haven't missed a beat. And this is, they'll be impressed by that list. They will.
I hope so. Thank
Yeah,
you, Rob.
yeah.
Let's move on to some policy updates. Heidi Alder, please.
Fighting a cough for quite a while. We just have a couple of new policies and then several policies to present on second reading. So I will review the new policies. We did go over them in study session, so I will be brief. We have two new policies. One is an amended policy, our policy 8200, which is our library material policy. We created a new policy 8250 to include all of the requirements by state law regarding sensitive materials. The sensitive materials process and policy had been in our library material policy, but because the statute really applies to all learning materials in the school, we thought it best to remove the processes in our library material policy and put it in a standalone policy. So the changes in 8200 are just that the sensitive material review processes are removed, and then a new policy 8250 was created. And that policy 8250 addresses the processes by which a student, a member of the community, a member of the board, an employee, a parent can request a review of any learning material that the individual feels is considered sensitive material or defined as pornographic or indecent material. There were some other changes in state law in terms of different categories of sensitive material that's also incorporated into this policy. Because I went over it in study session, I won't belabor it anymore, but I wanted to make sure that if you had any questions or comments before the public, I'm happy to address those.
Anything?
I just wanted to say thanks for all the hard work you've done on these policies, because staying up with state law is not an easy thing to do. And this specifically with the sensitive materials, it's just a lot. So I just wanted to thank Heidi and Heather for all the hard work that they've done on these two policies.
Thank you.
Anything else? Board, I'd ask for a motion then to approve updated policy 8200, libraries and sensitive materials, on a first reading, please. Jan and Kelly, thank you. If no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Go ahead.
And then also on a first reading is that 8250, the separate standalone sensitive material policy. So just a quick clarification, 8200 is now just called the library material policy. We've taken out the term library sensitive material policy. So 8200 is library material, and then the other policy for approval on first reading would be 8250, which is the sensitive material policy.
Okay, thanks. Board, I'd look for a motion to approve the new policy 8250, sensitive materials, on a first reading. Jan and Bruce, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any approved? Any opposed? Excuse me. Thanks.
We have, yeah, that's all on first reading. We just have a few policies that are here on second reading. We presented them last month, and there were no changes on the first two policies and very small changes on the second two. So quickly, policy 4120 is student discrimination and harassment policy. That had no feedback, no changes from last month, so I would submit to the board that policy 4120 be adopted on second reading.
Thank you. Board, I'd ask for a motion to approve updated policy 4120, student discrimination and harassment, on a second reading.
Second move.
John?
So moved.
Bruce? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Heidi?
The next policy is 4195, our section 504 student accommodations policy. Again, we had no comments, no changes made from the last month's first read. So we present policy 4195 on second reading for the board's adoption.
Thank you. Board, I'd ask for a motion to approve new policy 4195, section 504, student accommodations on a second reading, please. Janice. And John, thank you. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
And 6450, the memorial policy is also presented on a second read. We had one small change made by our policy committee that decisions to award postmortem diplomas may be made by a principal. That's the only change that we made to that policy since last month.
I'd look for a motion to approve updated policy 6450 memorial policy on a second reading, please. Janice and Jan, any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
And then finally, policy 6600, naming of school facilities and mascots. We had very few changes. The policy committee did add that suggested names for schools and mascots should be culturally appropriate. That's the only change that was made, and that was made in our policy committee. So I would submit policy 6600 to be adopted on second reading.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the updated policy 6600, naming of school facilities and mascots on a second reading? Bruce? Second. Jan? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Heidi.
Tonight.
Appreciate it.
Let me check.
Thanks to you and Heather and the policy committee and everybody that, I know we joke about this a lot, but I know it's a lot of hard work and we appreciate it. So thank you very much. Is it just a little too soon? Yeah. Well, thank you again.
But it has helped to the processes that they've put in place to be able to do it on a consent calendar partially, so when it's statutory. So thank you for those changes too.
Board, we have a need to convene in a closed session. This is a strategy session to discuss the character, professional competence, or physical or mental health of an individual. I need a motion to convene in a closed session.
So moved.
John, a second. Jan, roll call by Dr. Peterson, please.
Okay. Just say yay or nay when I call your name. Kelly Larson?
Yes.
Or yes or no, that's good too, yeah. Jan Burrell? Yay. Bruce Jardine? Janice Christensen? Doug Hurst? John Ritchie?
Yay.
And Paul Whittison?
Yay.
Very good.
Thanks everyone for your attendance tonight. We appreciate everybody and everything you do. Thanks for coming and spending time with us.